Welcome back, everybody. I'm sure you remember the last time I was on video. Rocky was just a puppy, and now look how big he's gotten. And yep, he's joined the cooking club, and we all matched together today. So we're going to be cooking away. You might hear them fighting in the background, but you know what? They love each other, and they keep each other company, right, Abs?
Playful boys.
They are playful boys, and Trackers had a fun summer. So I'm just going to wash my hands here because Rocky was loving on him here. So today I am going to make something that was a childhood favorite of mine, and I'm calling it Not Your Mama's Tomato Soup, because we're all used to popping the top on this and making soup for ourselves. And I admit it's very quick and it is good, but I'm going to show you how to make a homemade one today. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pot going here. And I do excuse this pot is old. I love it. It works. And I'm just going to stick with it. You know, if it's not broke, you don't fix it. Okay, so I'm heating this pot up to medium high. And I'm just going to put like a couple swirls around of olive oil, because in our tomato soup, we're going to be putting some shallots. I love shallots. They're a little bit milder than a big white onion for this, because you don't want that to overpower the tomato. You just want a nice light flavoring in there. So it really doesn't matter how big we slice them. You don't have to get real technical, because in the end we're going to end up using an immersion blender, and they're going to be all chopped up in that. So we're just going to get these going. So I'm just going to put these in my pan. There we go. And to it, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. And you know, I decided to leave everything like in the containers today and show you guys like what I use, because I don't need to be fancy. I don't need to take this and put it in a little thing, because this is the garlic that I use. Sometimes I'll use fresh garlic, you know, and I'll chop it up, but most of the times I don't have the time. So garlic in a jar like this is absolutely fine. So we're just going to put a little bit in that. And everybody knows that garlic and tomatoes is like peanut butter and jelly in the Italian world. It just goes together. So while this is heating up over here, and I do have it on high, there, I'm going to show you the tomatoes that I use. So we're going to be using 3 cans of San Marzano tomatoes, and that's these right here. This is also the tomatoes that we use in our sauce at the restaurant. So I saved the can because I just wanted to show you. I love this brand, and I love San Marzano. These are the whole peeled tomatoes. And the reason why these are such good tomatoes to use is because where they're grown in Italy is in the Campania region, and they are grown near the base of Mount Vesuvius, which is, of course, you know, a big volcano over there. So the ash in the soil makes it very nutrient rich. Therefore, it makes a great, great tomato. I even planted them this year, and they came out wonderful. I did make some sauce with it. So, okay, so this is starting to soften up here and brown up in the pan here. So I just have my shallots and garlic, and already it smells beautiful in here. So I did have a chance to go visit my mom. I think I had already told you guys that once or twice, but I went through her cookbook. I sat with her, and we just had a good time going through everything, made a couple of meals together. So I wanted to do a new set of videos called Jen-Uine dishes. So I'm going to be taking some of my mom's dishes, and I'm going to be making them my own now, because I like to change things up. Okay, so this is also tomato paste. Tomato paste is just tomatoes that are really cooked down really far and concentrated. And I like to use a tube because I can put it right back in the refrigerator when I'm done. And I'm squeezing in about 2 tablespoons. You could measure it if you wanted to, but you know, I'm just going to eyeball this stuff right now. All right, so we're going to infuse the oil with this. And while we're doing this is because everything that in this olive oil will go right on through the tomatoes as it cooks. And we're actually going to cook the tomatoes itself for 30 minutes, and that's going to make a great soup. So we have all this going. So it's actually called tomato basil soup. So I have some fresh basil here right out of my garden, and I have some in the tube, which I'm going to also squeeze into here, probably about 2 tablespoons. Now, if you didn't have this, you could just use the leaves. You can find this anywhere, right in the grocery section. Everything I've showed you so far was right from a supermarket. The boys are being so good, aren't they?
Too quiet.
Too quiet. Well, Tracker's sleeping already. So we've had a busy month. I mean, I'm glad I took off. I mean, I missed everybody, and I got a lot of nice messages from people. I've received so many beautiful aprons. Like this is from Gloria, and she even made the boys one. So like I've received so much love while I was gone, and I missed everybody. So I said, you know what, I need to get back. We've had festivals going on. We've been super busy. Okay, so this is 3 cans of these tomatoes. So this is 28 ounces. So there's 3 cans in here. I put the juice and all, everything, and we're just going to pour it right in here. Let me see if I can get this in here now. This is going to be a lot.
That's a lot.
I can do it. There we go. See that? And this is a lot easier than you think. No, it's not popping the top, of a can. I know that's really super easy. But when this is done, you're going to say, wow, this was so worth it. So all we do is put them in. We don't mash them up. We don't do anything like that. And we just take some fresh basil leaves now, and we're just going to put them in here. And we're going to let this simmer. I'm putting a lot because I like the taste of the basil with it. So we're going to let this simmer, put the top on it, and it's going to go for 30 minutes. Now I have one more secret ingredient that I like to put in here, and it's the rind of a Parmesan cheese. I have a couple of them in here. I like to save them. As you can see, it really says it, like Parmesan Reggiano. It's very, very good. So I'm going to actually cut this one because it's a real big one. And then I just put them back in the refrigerator, and I just keep saving them for soups. So I'm going to shove this right down in there, and then we put the top on and we let it go. So what I wanted to show you now was the one I had already made, of course. So I made one this morning. I made a big pot of soup right here for you guys, and I'm just going to switch this and put that on there while it cooks. Turn it down so it simmers. Here it is after it's simmered for 30 minutes. This is the soup. The tomatoes have pretty much cooked down by themselves, but not all the way. And I went ahead and I added 2.5 cups of chicken broth. So again, you could make your own, but let's make life easy. This is a good one, reduced sodium. He's just probably arguing with Tracker. So you say to yourself, well, this doesn't look like really good tomato soup, not the kind that, I really want out of the can. That's because it's not blended up yet. So I'm going to show you over here how to blend it up. Now, this is an immersion blender, and this is good for making drinks and things like that, mixing stews and soups. So I'm going to just go ahead and put this on for a minute and mix this up, and it just takes everything in here and makes it all pureed. It's a really great tool. If you don't have one, I suggest getting one. We use these also in the restaurant, and we put them right down in the cans as we open them, and it purees everything up. So this is a little bit cooled off. I didn't want to do it when it came right off the stove because if it splats up, it's going to burn you. So it just takes a couple seconds. I feel all the tomatoes here blending up. Oh, it smells good. Can you smell it, Abs?
Yeah.
Do you like tomato soup?
I do.
This is one of your favorites, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, I think it's pretty much blended. And look how easy that was. Yep, just like tomato soup. So I like to add a little bit of heavy cream to mine to make it like a bisque. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm just going to mix it in while it's still warm. And it's going to get that nice creamy flavor to it. Look how beautiful. Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. We're going to have a nice bowl in just a second. So, of course, when your mom made you this, she made you grilled cheese to go with it. And guaranteed she used the cheese with the plastic wrap around it. And there's nothing wrong with that again, but I'm going to show you how to make a really good grilled cheese. So this I learned a long time ago. If you go to Italy in Venice, there's a place called Harry's Bar. And it's very famous there for its drinks, but it also has a wonderful grilled cheese. So in here, I've blended soft butter, a little bit of the pesto in the tube, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and grated Gruyere cheese. So Gruyere is actually my favorite, and I love it. I use it in French onion soup and everything. So I'm just going to spread this mixture on the bread. And honestly, this is just like white bread from the store. I think it's like farmhouse, something farmhouse or whatever. And so I spread all that cheese mixture with the butter and the Dijon, and I put the top back on it. And now in here, I know you're going to think like, what is going on over here? I am actually going to kind of fry up this a little bit, and I'm going to put it in here. We're going to turn the heat up. This is olive oil, and this is going to get really nice and crusty brown. You're not going to believe how beautiful it is. You want to show what you do, what you go through every day with these boys?
All day, every day.
All day, every day, she does it. Oh, they love each other. It's wonderful.
We're best friends.
Thank God for him, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so while that is bubbling up here, turn it up. Yep, it's already going. I'm going to dish out a little bit of soup for you, and I already got the bowl out. Isn't it cute? I only have 2 of them. I found them, I think, at a yard sale or something like that. I don't know. But it's good enough for Josh and I. Okay, so here is the tomato soup. We're going to put this right here. Actually, we'll put it right over here. And then we're going to have this in a second. I'm going to check my grilled cheese. It's cooking over here. If you want to come and look in here, you can see how it's already bubbling around. So it's getting browned on there. This is still cooking in here. It'll continue to cook for 30 minutes. Let me just see if it's gotten brown underneath yet. Yes. Beautiful. See, I bet you never thought you could cook grilled cheese this way.
Seems really fattening.
Sometimes you have to indulge in things. Yeah. This soup is not fattening. How's that? Go. Okay. So you have the soup, I'll have the grilled cheese. So there we go. And I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do this side. This is such a good sandwich. Look how beautiful that is. Yeah. I remember, and I love my mom to death, you know, and I've, as I've been making all of her recipes lately, so much has been coming through and flooding my mind with things. And the other day I made your brother toast and I burned it. And he was like, oh, Ma, just leave it. You know, me and Ma would have left it, or she would have scraped it off. She would have scraped off the black. That's what I do. So I said, yeah, you're right. Like, we'll just scrape off the black. So all these things that, you know, you had as a child when you get in a kitchen, especially with a big cooking family like we come from, you know, it just always just floods my mind. And all of these recipes that I want to share with you now are kind of like a tribute to her. You know, we don't give our moms enough credit when we're young. We don't realize how much work they did and all the cooking that they did. Alrighty. This is done. This is the most beautiful grilled cheese you're ever going to eat. I'm going to get a plate out for this. We're going to cut it and we're going to eat it. And you're going to like it even though it's fattening. All right, so I'm going to take it out and I'm going to cut this. Okay, ooh, it's so nice and melty in there. Look at that. It's all melted in there. It's got Dijon and everything in it. Are we ready to try this, Abigail?
Ready. Dang, looks good.
Does look good. See? Now you can say this is your mama's tomato soup. It's really good, guys. It's nice and light. You might think, wow, this is going to be thick and it's going to be, you know, really dense, but it's not. It's a nice light soup. You taste the tomato in it. It's so delicious. You gotta have to stay and have lunch now. And I'm gonna try this grilled cheese. I'm so excited to. I haven't had one in a long time. Guys, you gotta try this. I'm gonna put the recipe up on my Facebook pages, and you can follow it along. It is so delicious. You're never gonna have regular Campbell's tomato soup again. Have a good afternoon, guys.